everyone?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was gonna get there.
Okay. Communication is common through all species. From humans taking a speech class to peacocks fanning their feathers to communicate a territorial warning. From smallest to largest, all organisms communicate. Bacteria also communicate in a very interesting way. What are bacteria? For many centuries, the structure of bacteria and how they worked had been widely debated. Many scientists believed in spontaneous generation, the theory that bacteria arose from dirt and other inanimate objects. To keep it simple, bacteria are microscopic single-cell organisms. They seek nutrients from the environment. When conditions are acceptable, they eventually divide into two identical cells in a never-ending cycle. They play an important role in our ecosystem, and bacteria also play a role in our gut, helping and providing protection from other harmful pathogens. We also use bacteria in food items such as beer, cheese, yogurt, but sometimes bad bacteria enter our body that are harmful. How are bacteria, tiny organisms, able to attack our bodies, and why is it important for the future of medicine? Quorum sensing. Quorum sensing is a mechanism used by bacteria to regulate gene expression in accordance to population density. When a bacteria first enters a host, they stay on the low, continually replicating until they sense that there is enough bacteria to launch an effective attack. When they reach that appropriate amount, they simultaneously release a chemical response letting the surrounding bacteria know it's time to attack. This is when you'll start seeing symptoms related to bacterial infections, i.e. fever, malaise. The usual first line of defense for bacterial infections is antibiotics. Antibiotics are medications that help people fight infections caused by bacteria. These medications come in many different forms, including pills, ointments, and fluids given IV. Antibiotics can do a lot of good. For people with serious bacterial infections like sepsis and pneumonia, it can save lives. But people use them far too often, causing antibiotic resistance. Antibiotic resistance happens when bacteria change DNA so that particular antibiotics don't work anymore. Before your doctor prescribes your medication, he will do a culture to identify which bacteria it is. This helps in minimizing the risk for resistance. The ability for bacteria to communicate, rapidly divide, and horizontally transfer information has led to antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Antibiotics are usually used to kill bacteria by stopping synthesis of the cell wall or stopping replication. But living organisms are constantly adapting to their new surroundings. Antibiotics has become a factor, but bacteria have found an easy solution. The ability for bacteria to horizontally transfer information at high rates of growth create a problem for the spread of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. The mutation of a bacterial genome can occur spontaneously. If a bacteria obtains a gene from another bacteria and it replicates, that gene becomes permanently embedded in its genome. All future generations will then carry that gene for antibiotic resistance. This is dangerous because we are running out of antibiotics that fight infections, causing superinfections such as MRSA and VRE. This is why we treat antibiotics with care. So how can you help in stopping the resistance of antibiotics? It is important to find a solution in combating resistance. Here's a list of things you can do to help. Take antibiotics only when you have an active bacterial infection. Do not pressure your doctor for any antibiotics if they advise against it. Finish all your antibiotics. Do not share your antibiotics, and avoid the use of antibacterial agents. If we all follow these guidelines, we can help fight this epidemic of drug-resistant antibiotics. Experts say that we are speeding up the process dramatically by using antibiotics too much and often in the wrong context. We need to slow down the development and the spread so that the antibiotics we are using, the antibiotics we have now, so that the antibiotics we have will continue to work for as long as possible. And the end. That's all. Thank you. And that was it. I don't know